Something about the George Floyd video, particularly, I've never had so many white sisters and brothers, white folks in this country from around the world asking, what should I read? What should I watch? What should I listen to? What can I do? I apologize. Do you want to talk? That's not, many of us who are Black had never had that kind of experience. And that's where transformation happens, when people are willing to begin to re-educate themselves and rethink everything they've been taught. The same thing goes for sexism, for toxic masculinity, toxic manhood. I mean, I literally grew up only learning about men in math in science in literature in everything. And so there's little wonder that I or any of us who identify as males would be sexist, because we were taught very early on by the school system, our families, our communities, religious institutions, the mass media culture, that women are simply caretakers or mother figures to men and boys, or sadly sex objects, or even worse, punching bags, something to be harmed. And so it takes an education. I would not be able to talk about toxic manhood if it wasn't for women interrupting my sexist behavior and saying, you need to read V, formerly E. Vinsler, you need to read Gloria Steinem, you need to read bell hooks, you need to read Audre Lorde. You really need to understand that this is a system of power that you've been participating in unwittingly, that you have something called male privilege, just like white brothers and sisters, white folks need to understand there is white skin privilege in the context of white supremacy. And so, I want us to get to a world where we actually respect and honor each other as equals, as equal human beings, no matter what our identity or identities. But I'm so clear, it's not going to happen without a massive re-education. And I think the 4 years of Donald Trump's horrific presidency that was rooted in racism and sexism and every other kind of ism and phobia we can think of, plus what happened with George Floyd on that video for 9 minutes and 29 seconds, and people just watching him being kneed to death, literally. I think it shook the conscience of America, but also shook the conscience of many people around the world. And that is where you begin to see a shift, but it's got to be consistent. Let's not forget the civil rights movement. The heart of it was 1955 to 1968. That was 13 years of work by Black folks, white folks, people of all different backgrounds. This is not going to change in a matter of just 1 year after George Floyd being killed. We need to be sustained in our efforts to affect this change. That's the only way it's going to flip.